Theta. The court below properly granted defendant's motion dismissing the action. That's another lie. The court below did no such thing. That's you, Stephen G. Taman. You encourage giving your word and taking it back. You encourage giving your word and going back on it. You too had a bad parent. Even if your paper had been signed, how can you let a depraved, lawless law clerk write such a lie? There was no trial. And in the Unified Justice Court Act, Section 1801 et sequitur, there has to be a trial. There has to be a trial in Small Claims Act. You cannot have summary judgment, Stephen G. Taman, in small claims. It was a denial of due process. There was no trial, there was no hearing, no witnesses were sworn, no evidence was presented. There was no discovery, and discovery is allowed in a limited way in small claims. So how can you three judges and you dirty two law clerks, say that Glendora received substantial justice in the court below? Try reading the Small Claims Guide. If you can't read the law, then read the Small Claims book. And you yourself, Jonathan Lippman, put that out. It came from the Office of Court Administration. Try reading it, pages 5 and 6. They are dissolute, folks. These people are dissolute. McCabe, Lippman, and Rudolph. And they're two lawless law clerks. Harrison clerks messed up the caption. Ignorantly, they made 2 cases out of it and grotesquely refused to correct their stupids. After 10 notices. Yes, see how the appellate term, 9th and 10th Judicial District, was motivated or was motioned to restore the case to 1 case, Charles Dolan through Langelotti, and did make it 1 case, but upside down. These law clerks quote Langelotti, another dirty, ignoble, ignominious paper by Rudolph, Tannenbaum, and I guess it was McCabe. They quoted that paper that they wrote on that, which I haven't even read to you yet, because I was holding it, giving them the benefit of the doubt that they would do justice on Glendora versus Heacock. In the Harrison court, the dumb clerks there, dumb clerks in the Harrison court, made the case Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan, James L. Dolan, Cablevision Systems Corporation, Mackie Deal, Thomas Garga, Peggy Anderson, Christine Savarino, Cecilia Masterilli, Robert Callaghy, Sally Stevens Birkenberg. These are all the defendants, and Patricia Langelotti. That was the name of the case. And they split it into 2 cases. Dumb, dumb, dumb. I told them 10 times that was wrong, and I told them 10 times to correct it. They never did. It's dumb to do that thing, and then it's even dumber not to correct it. So it went down the appellate term that way, as 2 cases. So I moved the appellate term to put the case back together the way it was originally. And they did. Angelillo did. But he put it together upside down. And now it's gone through as Glendora versus Langelotti, who was the last defendant. And the lead defendant is down at the bar. The least you can expect, the minimum you can expect of court clerks and judges is that they can read. There is no such case as Glendora versus Langelotti. You lie like kids when you're caught in the act. And what can you expect of a court whose clerks and judges cannot read? Can you expect them to know the law? Can you expect him to enforce the law? The Choman court is so far below, it is out of the cognizable spectrum. There was no trial. This is small claims court. Iota. Let's go after the next stupid. And I'm talking about the appellate term. There's the bad quote. Stupid quote. There is no such case as Glendora versus Langelotti. Yes, see Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan, Cablevision Systems Corporation, James Dolan, Mac Budill, Thomas Geiger, Charles Forma, Peggy Anderson, Christine Savarino, Cecilia Masterilli, Robert M. Callaghan, dead, and Charles A. Forma. Is Forma. His last name is Forma, and he is now Forma, Former. And I'll give you credit, James Bernas, for doing that. Robert M. Callaghan, now dead, sadly Stevens, Burke and Burke, a liar for hire, and Patricia Langelotti. See how this obtuse Angelillo put the case back together, but upside down, and see how the incompetent clerks never corrected their errors. We are up to page 11. The museum, the public of New York State, can expect of clerks and judges is that they can read. Neither Harrison, town, court below, nor the appellate term, the court above, can read a caption. Step one is to be able to read a caption. Such caption captious is a nadir. Kappa. Yes, read Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan through Langelotti as exposing Glendora's 30-page excoriation of you judges and you adulterated lawless clerks. That is in the drawer. It has not been read to you, and it has not been printed. And that will have to be done. Because we're not going to hold back any longer. We know what these people are. Read it as it was read on Glendora's television network of 53 TV stations and on her 2 internet sites all over the world. We tell as many people about it as we can. We are fed up with you illiterates. And what are all those hieroglyphics? Court papers are supposed to be intelligible. And what is SM page 1? Reading of plaintiffs, even a liberal reading of plaintiffs' allegations, accepting them as true, and affording plaintiff every benefit of the doubt is a lie, a lie, a lie. What do you mean? Read. This is not a re-procedure. Instead of calling this Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan, which is its proper name, they say it's a re. See the re? That's for, things that aren't a full-blown action. A re is like if you make a complaint about a judge, or if you ask for a certiorari, or if you ask for mandamus. That's what re goes to. But this is a full action. All of your liberally, quote unquote, and accept as true, quote unquote, and affording every benefit, quote unquote, super, you failed to do. You should have done all that. That's standard. You should have done that. Accepted liberally. And accepted as true. And affording every benefit. As used by these bench potatoes, they are nothing but platitudes. You did not do any of them. And you should have. Then they write, maybe you can read it, folks. I don't think I can. What's that say? Fails to demonstrate the existence of a cause of action based on breach of contract. So they say. But can they back it up? No. Can they prove it? No. Well, Glendora did not fail. You failed. You. The two dirty law clerks, Rudolph, McCabe, and Lippman. And then they come in with what is called, they quote a case. And they don't tell you where it applies. And these cases that they quote, folks, there's just as many pros as there are cons. It's a washout, a complete washout. And it isn't law anyway. It's only another bad decision by a bad judge. A self-serving judge. Now we're up to Lambda, and they write, plaintiff merely alleges that defendant stated that she would sign sponsorship papers and later refused to do so. Did the plaintiff have a trial? No. Were any witnesses sworn? No. Did anybody testify under oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help them God? No. Was any evidence presented? Was any testimony presented? No, 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 no. Was Glendora given her small claims right to limited discovery? No. It is thereby pellucid that you three judges and you two law clerks eschewed the laws. It is thereby pellucid that you failed your duty and did not earn your salaries. I believe that these appellate judges, a Supreme Court judge gets around $130,000 and maybe a little bit more, $4,000 or $5,000 or something a year to be on the appellate term. And these law clerks make about $70,000 just to lie. What a sickening way to make a living. And it is also likewise that you failed the oath that you should have taken. In the Goshen court, they wouldn't answer if they had taken an oath. Who? Lippman. Excuse me. Retract that. Who? Rudolph. McCabe. Tannenbaum. No, Angelillo. Angelillo, Rudolph, and Tannenbaum. That was in the Goshen court, and I asked them right out, as you remember, and I put this on videotape for you. Did you sign an oath of office? Are you keeping the oath? Your open and shameless disregard of decency is detestable. And then this ghostwriter writes, however, every change of mind is not a breach of contract. Well, it certainly is. That's what a change of mind is. It's a breach. After you've given your word, you don't change your mind. Every change of mind is a breach. You got to teach these kids this. What else is a breach of contract but a change of mind? Now come your insipid rationalizations that cause real Americans to shrink with shuddering. It's so awful. When they know the law is being broken, and then when they give these insipid rationalizations for it. You shrink with shuddering. You know that Ecock breached, and you know that Toman was improperly influenced. And now, detestably and loathsomely, you cover up the dirt. Ghostwriter, law clerk. Wallace Clerk writes, there is no allegation of any consideration for such a promise. This is your 10th misrepresentation in 1.5 pages. You cannot do worse. Glendora made it pellucidly clear in numerous paragraphs that Eacock promised. Will you renew? Yes. That's a meeting of the minds. No consideration has to be offered. Thomas said that himself. It is not necessarily fatal to contract. And besides, this is public access and it's all volunteer and it's against the law to give anybody a consideration. It's not even a law that they have to be there to sign. We're going to stand up to these people, folks. They're just not going to get away with their lies. Will you renew? Yes. Will you renew is the offer. Yes is the acceptance. Breaching it is the breach of contract. Okay, folks. We're up to page 16. And it's 5 o'clock. And we're going to rejoice. We're going to rejoice that you and I have each other. The telephone calls are affluent. An abundant flow of telephone calls about this program. So many people have been ripped off and violated by these crooks in the courts. The courts are totally depraved. Totally depraved. Okay, we're going to rejoice. I have a song for you about that. Song shall rise to thee. Rejoice ye pure in heart. Rejoice, give thanks and sing. Your festal banners waving on high, the cross of Christ your King. Rejoice, 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 give thanks and sing. It's simple, isn't it? Rejoice, give thanks and sing. It is so simple. Just don't think about anything bad. When these people get their proper punishment, and when they come up with a restitution, don't think about anything bad. And now, here's your jokes. Man went into the restaurant, he said, is the chef in? The waitress says, no, he went out to eat. The policeman said to the little boy, are you related to the family next door? And the little boy said, yes, their dog is our dog's brother. Teacher, name something of significance that did not exist 100 years ago. And Billy said, me. Why do judges stand on their heads? To turn things over in their minds. Waiter, this coffee tastes like mud. Yes, sir. Just a few minutes ago it was ground. Piano teacher is coming in 15 minutes. Did you wash your hands and face? Yep. Did you wash your ears? I washed the one next to her. What is the plural of mouse? And the student said mice. And what is the plural of goose? And the student said geese. What is the plural of babies? And the student said twins. Did you hear about the couple who had identical girl twins? And they named them Kate and Duplicate. Billy, if I gave you 3 pencils today and 4 pencils tomorrow, how many pencils would you have? And Billy said 8. You don't know arithmetic. I already got a pencil. What were the Poles doing in Russia in 1940? Holding up the telephone wires. What do you call a sailor who is married and has 7 children? Hot. Three-course dinner. It consisted of one French fry, 1 pea, and 1 bean. Teacher, how much is 2 and 2? Boy, 4 and 4. 4, rather. Teacher, how much is 2 and 2? Boy, 4. Teacher, good. And the boy whispered to himself, good, it's perfect. Waiter, this plate is wet. Waiter, that's your soup, sir. What are you doing, Joni? I'm writing to Elizabeth. Joni, you know you can't write. Well, Elizabeth can't read either. Did you hear about the family who was so rich, folks, that they bought a boy for the dog? It's Glendora, a cheerful look at life, and we're going to take a short break. County of Westchester, United States of America. The case is Glendora Plaintiff versus Christine Savarino, Tybat Sulaco, Julie Krenzer, and Officer Lewis, defendants, and this is the index number. And what does it say? It says, second notice. To the court that lead defendant, Christine Savarino, continues to refuse legal papers, shows contempt of the court, and triple shows her guilt, and that she must pay Glendora all of the relief demanded by Glendora, in addition to triple sanctions of $10,000 plus $1,000 plus $2,000. The $2,000 being for the last contempt herein. Glendora moves that Savarino pay this court $13,000 sanctions. Savarino continues impotence as to defense, as to authority to be represented by Sarok, as to authority to Sarok's practicing in this court, and as to Sarok's having paid the clerk the attorney entrance fee. Further, Savarino continues to return Glendora's property of 40 VHS tapes loaned to the Wappingers Falls cable TV system, circa 20 municipalities. This is petty larceny. Glendora moves for this court to order Savarino to return Glendora's property, and also Sulaco to return Glendora's VHS videotapes. Savarino, the master really continue to be autistic. How can Glendora properly administer her public access rights, a law, if she cannot communicate with Cablevision public access administrators? And this is dated today, the last day of August, 2006. And it's yours in truth, in amor patriae, love of one's country, and amor New Yorki, love of New York. And it's Glendora without prejudice, the common law under the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 1, Section 207. It's Opus 1430. It took 3 hours, and it cost $6. A chat with Glendora on 52 TV stations and 520 municipalities, including Washington, D.C. and Albany, New York, on the internet at www.achatwithglendora.com. lead people to be perfect, stop the cruelty to animals, and stop injustice in the courts, and sue judges when they break the law. This is the service list, and you already know that. Poor Severina, I feel sorry for her. She's missing all the fun in life. Take our love, our Lord, we pour at thy feet, its treasure store. Take myself, and I will be ever only all for thee. A Swedish construction crew got a job refurbishing the 4th floor apartment, and toward the end of the day, when it was time to come home, the foreman came around, and he says, "Hey," he called way up to the 4th floor, "are you guys finished?" And they shouted down, "No, we're Swedish." That's right. And why didn't Scarpino see this?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they have to lift the fog off their eyes or something.
It's over? Do you like the way it's going?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying everything. Am I right or correctly?
Most of it, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Most of it. You get a little...
You get a little jittery.
Well, I don't think so.
No, you don't. He'll think I do.
Well, maybe you should look at some of the public relations material.
Okay, first of all,
the articles.
I found that on the letters testamentary they aren't listed. It's Bankers Trust of New York.
yes, it is.
So,
Permanent letters.
so now we have that, and we gave it to the judge in. Well, you know, we got.
Hi there, folks.